The season is shifting. You can feel it in the warmth hanging in the air, the way the evenings linger, like they're asking you to stay a little longer before rushing off. And I've been shifting too. Not all at once, and definitely not dramatically, but slowly, subtly. I'm starting to loosen my grip on things I didn't realize I was holding on to. Beliefs, habits, fears. They all felt like protection, but they were actually prisons. This season has been about letting go of things I've carried for far too long. And two of the biggest things are isolation and second guessing myself. Old companions, quiet ones, but heavy. I don't think I've even realized how isolated I'd become. I wasn't lonely all the time. I was functioning, working, showing up, and smiling when I needed to. But something in me had gone quiet, too quiet. It started as self protection, the kind that you build slowly without meaning to. A text left unanswered, a gathering skipped, a conversation shortened because it's easier to do that than being honest to the other person about how tired you really are. And over time, I stopped reaching out to others. I stopped letting people in. Isolation. It doesn't show up with flashing lights, but it grows in the gaps between your days. I told myself I was just recharging. I'm busy, people understand, but deep down, I missed feeling known. And I think the hardest part is that I did not know how to come back. Because when you are inside of yourself for so long, coming out again feels like exposure. Like when you walk out into the sun after too many days of darkness. The light stings, even though you need it. So I started with little things, tiny rebellions against the quiet. I answered messages, not perfectly, but intentionally. And I let my voice be heard in rooms that I usually shrink in. I invited people in when I didn't feel 100% okay. I gave people the chance to see me without my armor on. And I reminded myself, connection doesn't have to mean constant. It can mean honest, and it can mean present. I'm still learning, still softening, still practicing the art of being seen without flinching. I let go of the idea that I have to do this all alone. Because even the strongest people need witness. And I deserve to be witnessed in all of it, not just when I've made it through. This one has been with me for most of my life. Second guessing, editing myself in real time, replaying conversations over and over and over after the fact, over apologizing, under speaking, shrinking so I would not take up too much room. I used to think that this was humility, that I was being cautious with my voice, and that made me a very kind person. But I've realized it just made me invisible. I was constantly asking, was that too much? Am I too emotional? Am I too quiet? Am I too loud? Am I too me? And somewhere in there, I started distrusting my own intuition. The very part of me that has always known the truth. The part that knows when something is off. The part that knows when something is right. The part that knows when something is mine. Letting go of second guessing has meant learning to listen to myself before looking around to see if it's okay. It meant honoring my no and trusting my yes. It's meant realizing that sometimes the most radical thing that we can do is believing in ourselves, especially when no one else claps for us. I've started catching myself mid-doubt, asking, is this fear or is it fact? Then more often than not, it's fear. Old fear. Fear dressed up in voices that don't belong to me anymore. Voices that I inherited, absorbed, or made up just so I can survive. But I'm done living under that spell. I'm done living small so the rest of the world can feel comfortable. I want to be clear, even if I'm not always understood, and I know I won't be. I want to be whole, even if that makes people pause, because my softness is not confusion, and my clarity is not aggression. I trust myself now, even when my voice shakes, and even when I'm still figuring everything out as I go. Here's the part people don't talk about enough. When you let go, something always comes in. When I let go of isolation, I made space for connection. Not the constant kind, but the real kind. The kind that meets me where I'm at. The kind that doesn't ask me to perform or to pretend. When I let go of second guessing, I found clarity and I found peace. A steadier voice, one that, still shakes sometimes, but speaks anyway. Letting go isn't just about loss, it's about permission. Permission to feel, to trust, and to be where you are without apology. Some things we carry, we picked up in survival mode. They made sense then, and they kept us safe. But just because something protected you once doesn't mean you have to keep holding on to it forever. This season, this almost summer, is teaching me that lightness isn't something you stumble into. It's something you create by letting go. So if you're holding on to too much, if you've gone quiet inside, if you second guess your every move, I want you to know that you're not broken. You are just at the edge of something new. And you are allowed to step into it. You are allowed to belong in your own life again.